80 masks depicting the narratives and history of the indigenous and non-indigenous populations of Guatemala are now on display at Fowler Museum at UCLA. It's the Guatemalan Masks exhibit. The masks embody key characters from historically and culturally significant dance dramas.
Many of the masks that you see in here represent key characters out of traditional masquerade performances. And some of them are about the history of the conquest, of the Spanish conquest of indigenous Guatemala. Some of them are staging the narratives of the histories of Catholic saints. Some of them are about animal pageants that sort of demonstrate moral values.
I am so fascinated by all these masks and the fact that Jean and Jim Piper donated from their personal collection. And these aren't even all the masks that they own. The masks are handcrafted and carved, and some of the oldest ones date back to the late 18th century. For more than 50 years, Jim and Jean Piper traveled to Guatemala and attended festivities across the country while meeting with carvers, masqueraders, and Maya priests to assemble their collection of masks.
This section includes masks from the Dance of the Conquest, which tells the story of Spanish arrival in Guatemala and the conflict between the European invaders and the indigenous resistors. In many ways, it's a reworking of the dance of the Christians and Moors in Spain, but now it's been localized, sort of regionalized to make sense in the Americas. And so the key figures that you'll see here are masks representing conquistadors like Pedro Alvarado over here, and various indigenous leaders over here to the right. And so you see masks that represent living combatants, and you also see masks that represent folks that have fallen in battle.
The masks were usually worn by local residents or people from semi-professional folk troupes that were paid to perform. Coming to this exhibition, you're sure to learn something new. Jim Cotter, visiting from Australia, says he found it fascinating.
Wandered into the Guatemalan masks, which are quite extraordinary. In many ways reminiscent of Indonesian masks, which is quite extraordinary. I never had that conception before I walked in here today.
Seeing these things take back us to history, like when there was nothing, like we didn't have all this technology and modern world, but how people have entertained them, how people have kept them occupied. And these days now, where we have all these source of entertainment, we have everything, but we are still bored and lonely in life.
There's so much more to see here. To get the ultimate experience, you need to come down to Guatemalan Masks. The exhibit runs through October 6th, and it's free.